going?
Such a troll.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh, man.
What's up?
Oh, hey, guys.
Why are you laughing? Why are you guys laughing?
Because it's temporary.
What are you talking about?
2 points, Adam. 2 points.
I can't even be in the conversation.
2 fucking points.
What are we talking about? I'm just sitting here.
Mm-hmm. You don't have any special attire at all.
This is a podcast.
Yeah,
There's
so
no
why are you all... Yeah, so what's the point?
This is my everyday attire.
Okay.
I believe it.
I've seen it. You're just getting a cup of coffee.
That beard needs to be your everyday attire.
Yeah.
And
Well, he doesn't put the beard on in the morning.
You don't know.
I mean, I get it ready.
Yeah,
for
you
like
got
45 minutes.
that beard shampoo that we talked about last time?
Yeah. Yeah, I have it. It's Polished Gentleman.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, it looks polished, gentlemen.
Yeah. It's a little polished. Hey, so welcome to a joint effort today while she's napping and sailing Victoria. We're doing away with salty semen with you. That's not a
It
thing.
was show me your boat hole.
Oh wow. Jeez.
Diving right in.
God damn.
We're still MySpace with you.
Someone sauced. Chris, Sara, how are we?
Well,
We're good now that we got all of our audio situated.
that was quite the ordeal trying
Like,
to
we
get set up
literally
here.
just, like, we're on doing this for like an hour.
Yeah. But we got to hang out.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we all know that we're going to be up till like 3 a.m. your time anyway.
Yeah.
after
Probably.
this.
Yeah.
That's why Cindy took a 3-hour nap.
Like,
Really
oh,
unfortunate
I
for
did.
you East Coasters.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll deal. Whatever.
You got to celebrate New Year's at
Twice.
9 o'clock.
That's
It was-
true.
It was amazing.
I actually did. After we were done, I went back and watched the West Coast edition, and I watched it all over again. It was great.
I was saying because West Coast people get 2 New Year's.
Right.
I guess technically we would too if we stayed up till 3. Can't do that.
But yeah,
yeah,
no,
fuck that.
Maybe when we were in our 20s.
maybe.
We're
Definitely
so
not
old.
now. Yeah.
We're boomering it up right here. Hey, so Valentine's Day stuff. That's what we're going to talk about today. And we're glad, if you are listening to us for the first time, we're glad you get to join us for this special edition because we like these joint edition shows, even though this is the second one. I feel like we've video chatted and talked way more than we've recorded. Is that
We should just
accurate?
record every chat we do.
Well, our
Yeah.
whole relationship as friends has been built over video chatting, so
Yeah.
Exactly.
literally every
Yeah.
time we've communicated has been this way.
Yeah, but we've only podcasted twice, but we've hung out 3 times?
Virtually.
no,
Yes.
Yeah.
this will be
Yeah,
this will be
yeah.
our 4th.
This is our 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we
At
we
least.
date nighted once, then we podcasted, and then we New Year's, and then this is our
That's right.
4th.
Oh, so we're 2 and 2.
Shit.
Mhm.
We still haven't touched.
We have not
No.
touched.
We haven't touched.
I long for the day.
I have no idea how tall you people are.
Oh, I'm a short person.
Are you?
No,
Yeah,
we're
we both are.
short.
I'm 5'9".
Oh,
That's
you're
not that
so
short.
tall.
That's not king
Are
status.
you sure? He lies about his height sometimes.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm 5'9".
Okay.
What do you think I am?
I love that
5'7"?
that's your lie.
No.
I'm not Muggsy Bogues.
I always go by the fact that my best friend is 5'7", and you guys are just about the same
Okay,
height.
that's not... Yeah, just about 2 inches.
Okay. Well, I'm 5'4", and he gets mad if I wear heels because he thinks I look taller than him.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
I'm not
no,
wearing
no.
5-inch heels, so
Yeah.
I don't like it when you're face to face with me.
okay.
Yeah, he
It
doesn't want to have...
intimidates me.
Well, I'm 6'7" and Sarah's 5'2". So,
That must be awkward.
well, depends which configuration we're in, because sometimes it's
Are
not.
you talking stats? Or...
I don't know what it could be. No, I'm
Are we
5'10".
talking-
Welcome to our
positions?
Valentine's Day episode.
He's 5'10", I'm 5'3" technically, but I go by 5'2".
So there you go.
I identify as 5'2".
I identify as 5'2".
I do.
You're just like Adam, but in the opposite direction.
No, because I used to say I've given in. I used to say I'm 5'10", and then you
Exactly.
called me out, and I said,
Because you're
"All
really
right, I'm
like
5'9".
5'7", 5'8", so we've compromised on
No, I am
5'9".
5'9".
That's awesome.
It's on the license.
Yeah, my license says I weigh 120 pounds, so
Listen, but
we'll go with that.
weight fluctuates. Height doesn't necessarily fluctuate.
so true.
I mean, it does, but I'm done growing.
Height does fluctuate. You might shrink now as you're getting older.
Right, it's only
Yeah.
going to go down from there.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome everyone. If you're listening to us for the first time and you like what you hear, we encourage you to subscribe to the show. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that. We're going to try to skip the pleasantries this week and jump right in. We have
Smash that subscribe button.
No, gently caress. Everyone smash it. I don't want anyone damaging their phone. Like, this is why screens break.
You don't gotta
Oh, it
skip.
is?
You don't gotta skip that
that
much
it?
for us.
Oh.
Is that a widespread problem?
Yeah, they're like, I gotta smash. And that's expensive to fix.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, we do holiday episodes. I've been drinking. We do holiday
Clearly.
episodes, and we're doing Valentine's Day, and I think this is the last one. No, well, St. Patrick's Day, but whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? And then it's our 1-year anniversary of podcasting.
In March.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so today we decided to kind of loosely talk about relationships for Valentine's Day. So we're building off of some feedback that you guys, Sarah and Chris, sent to us. I guess mostly Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah, it was all Sarah.
Yep. Chris has no idea.
Chris is winging it.
I'm just here.
He's just here.
Yeah.
I really couldn't have gone anywhere else. So
Here.
You're literally stuck on a boat with
In
her.
a room with
with
you.
you.
exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, Sarah sent some great feedback from the episode we did on advice a few weeks ago. And we thought that it warranted its own episode. There was a lot there to cover within the rest of the things we were talking about in that episode. So we're going to revisit that. And then in the second half, we're going to talk about love languages, which is one that we've wanted to do for a while. And I know you guys did on your podcast pretty early on. And
Basically, we're ripping you guys off.
we were going to just rip you off, but then we were like, hey, we should just do it together.
We're the dollar store version of MySpace With You.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's completely opposite.
Our podcast basically doesn't exist. So
Well,
You're
you're
just on
here.
a break.
And
You're in
now
between
that we're
seasons.
coming back, we're like, okay, so we learned a lot. We're going to do everything Adam and Cindy do, and we're just going to apply that.
exactly.
So we're actually the rip-offs of you now.
We're gonna do all those episodes, but take the opposite take, even if we don't agree with it.
Perfect.
And then we get the amalgam of everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And we just-
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we're in cahoots, we're creating division, kind of like politics.
Oh, wow.
Anyways,
Hey,
so why
break-
don't you tee this off?
Oh.
Go ahead,
what
Sarah.
were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
She wasn't going to say nothing.
I was going to say nothing.
Okay.
I'm not going to go there.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, for the first half, yeah, let's revisit those questions that Sarah asked. So again, this was our episode about advice, and we were mostly focusing on
Unsolicited
advice.
yes.
And we had the focus, kind of inadvertently, but I guess I kind of saw it coming at the same time on parenting, unsolicited parenting advice, because that's something that, as soon as we announced that we were pregnant with our toddler, it just comes at you from every direction from everybody. And it's a super common thing that people have to deal with all the time in the in the context of parenting. But you kind of brought that a different lens to that in terms of someone giving you advice about asking hard questions related to whether or not you even want to have kids in the first place, and some of the other sort of expectations that we face, from family or just from society in general, about how you, navigate through a relationship. And, you date someone, you get engaged, you get married, you pop out some kids, buy a house, and you settle down with the white picket fence, and that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
We have a vinyl fence.
Yeah, ours is vinyl.
Ours
Yours
is
is white.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it would just be really interesting to kind of revisit some of those questions, because I think it's a cool dynamic that you guys, we're similar in a lot of ways. We talk about how we're the East Coast, West Coast versions of each other.
Yeah.
But really our lives look pretty different, and we've taken very different paths. So I kind of wanted to just talk about that. So, I don't know, Sarah, do you want to kind of tee up anything from where, like how you got this advice?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of like you said, you know, I think even aside from parenting, it's like we constantly just, I feel like we're always going to have people who are older than us always trying to give us unsolicited advice, right? So it's like not even just about like, you know, if you announce that you're pregnant and then everyone wants to give you pregnancy advice or whatever. It's like even just being in a relationship in general, right? And especially for Chris and I having gotten together at, you know, 15 years old, we had every older person in the world constantly trying to give us advice or constantly telling us, you know, one thing or another. You know, but then as far as like, you know, so that's kind of how your guys' podcast started, right? Or at least the questions was like, what was unsolicited advice? And that's just a constant. And then you're like, what was the best advice you've ever received? And so that's kind of where I chimed in was, so it wasn't necessarily unsolicited, but I had a client of mine who, she's in her like probably mid 40s. And I knew that she had been with her husband. Well, they're not technically married, but they've been together for like 14 years. And they didn't have kids. And so I just was at a place in my life in this particular moment where I came from wanting kids so bad my entire life. And like everyone who knew me knew that like I was super baby crazy. And I would have moments at like 18 years old where like a baby, you know, someone could like walk by holding their baby. And if the baby looked at me a certain way, like I'd start bawling and just like, I was so emotional. I was so like on this quest of feeling like not only did I want kids, but that I was like meant to be a mother. And, you know, so I reached this time in my life where I started to question that for the first time. And that was very foreign to me, and it felt very weird, and I thought something was wrong with me. And I had this client in my chair one day, and it was just the two of us in the salon, and no one else was there, and I kind of felt compelled to ask her, like, hey, how did you get to this point? Like, did you decide not to have kids? Could you not have kids? Like, that's a very personal question, and thankfully we're close enough, and she, you know, basically told me that she received advice from her mom. When she was in her, you know, early 30s, she went to her mom and was like, hey, I need help. I need advice. Because she was at a point in her life where she could see herself with kids. She could see herself without kids. And was really trying to help, you know, she needed help kind of figuring out how to navigate her thoughts and her feelings and like which way she was going to go. And basically it was her mom who gave her the advice of like, well, you know, I think that you need to sit down and ask yourself some hard questions because not enough people do that. And, you know, those hard questions are, you know, one, like, are you willing to risk your life, right? Though it is incredibly rare to, you know, lose your life during birth, it does happen. So that's one question.
And even if you don't get to that, like that extreme, you know, of losing your life, I mean, there's a bunch of complications that can happen. And just, you're kind of, you know, sacrificing your body for a while and for a while after. So there's definitely that component of it.
You're still hot, babe.
Oh, thanks. I meant more of like the discomfort and the pain and the recovery, and there's that whole piece for sure. Yeah.
And then, you know, like the next one was like, you know, if anything were to happen, you know, if my child were born with any sort of, you know, special needs or any illnesses or, you know, diseases or anything, like, am I not only prepared to handle that, but also do I want to handle that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one for me is also just really honing in that concept of like the means of being selfish. And I think like our societal pressure of how wrong that is to make that selfish thought, and how we need to kind of change that narrative a little bit. How it's perfectly okay to be selfish, right? Like, this is, at the end of the day, it is your life, and like you have to decide, you know, what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. And you know, for me too, it kind of like these questions kind of further gathered, you know, there was a couple other ones, but I was in a place in my life where, you know, Chris was experiencing his, you know, career for the first time. And, like, am I allowed to say what you do?
I mean, whatever. It's not like we have anybody from our podcasting world that listens. And
Okay.
so.
And you can just say that it's a high risk.
It's a high risk job. Well, I feel like I have to be specific. So he got on with the fire department, and it's like, especially for us in California, as you know, it's like every year we're experiencing these like new record like fires, and with that comes like new record firefighter deaths.
Right.
And I hate to be like so dark, but like that's what I was experiencing, is like kind of, you know, when you go from this fantasy and this idea of what it means to be like, you know, the wife of a firefighter versus like the reality. And, you know, and so then I had to ask myself, like, God forbid anything happened to him. Not only am I prepared to be a single parent, but do I want to be a single parent?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, it's like, I'm self-employed, you know, I don't have insurance, and like I do because of him, but without him, I don't have insurance. I can't get unemployment. If something were to happen to me, you know, it's like I have all these things that are kind of stacked against me with the career that I'm in and just the position that I'm in. And it's like, can I provide the life that I want to provide for a child? And, you know, I got to a point where I, as much as I always wanted kids my entire life, I got to a point because I asked myself those questions. My answer was no. So that was very weird for me. And, you know, Chris and I are definitely at a point where our answer is no right now. But so much can change in, you know, very little time. And it's like, we're very open to the fact that like maybe 3 years from now, our minds will change and it'll be different. And, you know, if it is, great. And if it's not, that's okay too.
Right.
So that's kind of,
I remember one
where
time
we're at.
open.
Keep a crack in your door.
Keep it
Yeah.
cracking.
That's
that
what
door.
it is.
That's right.
It's been a while. I get it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember one time you kind of described that as, you know, it's not that you don't want kids right now. It's that right now you don't want kids.
Yeah.
But you're open to that changing at some point.
Yeah. And I absolutely, like, you know, if I'm speaking honestly, do I see that changing? I don't.
Right.
But I also keep a crack in my door. I also acknowledge the fact that, you know, the way that I viewed the world and saw things 2 years ago is completely different today. So it's like anything can change. And, you know, we continue to evolve and grow as people. And it's important to be open to that growth and be open to changing. Like, changing is okay and it's allowed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're not like, you're not hammered down to your words that you say today, you know, like there's possibilities for change.
Boy, your reasoning for not wanting to have kids is way more sincere than mine.
Okay, well,
I was waiting to hear your take, Chris.
Okay, so can I just say, so that's how it started. It first started with me. Like, I had this whole crazy self-discovery, like really emotional, like moment where I went down the path first. And he was like, "You're fucking crazy." He's like, you want kids more than anyone I've ever known in my life. Like, we're having kids. And I'm like, I don't think we are. And well,
Right.
and so it started out like I would kind of keep bringing it up and I would just see what he would say. And we, it just kind of started so simple. And you constantly fought me on it for a while until finally we sat down. It was literally one night we like sat on the bed and we actually like sat and had a conversation, a legit conversation about this. And I helped to kind of open his mind and make him see, like, and ask himself the hard questions. Because I'm like, do you want kids because you actually want kids, or because you think I want kids, or like, do you want kids because you think you're supposed to want kids?
Again, I feel like my side is way less sincere of why we agreed to
He doesn't
kind of
like kids.
Yeah, no, it's not even that I don't like kids. I'm
He
super
loves everyone else's
I'm
kids.
super awkward with kids. I don't know how to communicate with kids.
So sorry.
Same.
And
Still.
I'm just
That's not true.
I'm just not good with kids. So like yeah, it was like a thing societal pressure wise to be like, "Oh, you're supposed to have kids. That's what you do." And for me, I was like, "Oh, I could be fine having kids if we decide to have kids. That'd be great." But like I still feel super weird around kids. And then when the option was kind of given to not have kids, it was like, well, shit, I could have a really cool life if we decided to go that way, and I'd be perfectly fine if we didn't have kids. So that's kind of where I was at. It wasn't like a very sincere thought process about like leaving you high and dry with a kid if something bad happened to me.
Oh, no, for sure. And I know that, but I'm just saying, like, you never actually took the time to really think about not having kids until I kind of forced you to
Sure.
truly think about it, And then, also on top of that, like, this also at this time, you had, we had new nephews on your side. And so he got to kind of experience having these new infants around and then kind of, over the, couple years kind of watching them grow and his interaction with them. And, I would always ask him, like, I mean, we both love our nephews so much. And I definitely am like, I love kids. I'm good with kids. I love being around kids. But he totally still feels awkward. So it's like, even with his own nephews, he's like, I love them, but like, yeah, I don't want to play with them. I don't know how to.
I think I'd be a very
Well, you were-
awkward dad.
Adam was always the same way with kids. Go ahead.
I mean, look, I'm well, now I'm bearded, right? But I'm bald, and just the thought, if I was a person with hair and I had a child and I saw a bald person play with that child, I'd say that dude's fucking sketchy as fuck. Like, just automatically.
So that's
This-
it. That's your barometer for creep.
But
is
now
whether or
I
not you're
know
bald.
that's being reflected
Only
back
people with
because
hair can
I'm
have
the
kids.
bald guy. I'm the guy, right? So if I'm playing with someone's kids, even if I know them, that parent is somewhere, this fucking asshole, like, just grilling me. No, I was always awkward with children before, but especially as babies or as young toddlers. But the older they got, the easier it is to sort of play, because for lack of a better way to put it, the roughhousing, quote unquote, sort of amps up, and you can play fight with them, and especially if they're, I don't know, receptive to that, they like to be like tossed into ball pits or whatever. It's just easy. It's fun. Hey, get away from me. Go.
Silly.
You're having fun.
Yeah.
But then when you have, and I don't want to turn this into a lecture, when you have a child of your own, it sort of, I don't know, cranks up the whole, I need to be cautious of everything that I do. So if it's someone else's kid, even if it's my nephew or something, that same sort of, that's mine, isn't there. The same sort of possessiveness of it. And if I break it, it's not mine. At the end of the day, it's not my kid, right? There's that little aspect of it, but when it is my kid, I'm like, ooh, I have to really, really take care of this. But I'm more, relating with you guys that I've always, thought that this was the path that you were quote unquote supposed to take.
Yep.
And for me, Sarah, like calling back to what you were saying about selfishness, I do think the whole aspect of selfishness gets a bad rap because when you hear the word selfish, it automatically has a negative inclination to it. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that being selfish means you're doing something bad. I do think that when you take a look at your circumstances and yours in particular, how you've, outlined them, I don't necessarily think that's selfish. I more think that's responsible, right? I think that's more something that a lot of people, if they're in that train of thought of, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, don't necessarily think of these consequences, for lack of a better way to put it. Or even Chris, your sort of baseline reasoning of saying, oh, I could be able to do X, Y, and Z with my life if I don't have kids, which is absolutely true. Or my life could be more fulfilling for me or whatever if I don't have kids. And again, that could be true. And in your case, it seems like it is as of right now. I don't think that's selfish. I think that's responsible. And if you did have a child, I'd be a little bit more concerned if you were still having those feelings, because then I'd say, I don't know if you really wanted to have kids. I just think you were supposed to have kids.
Yeah. And I'll just say this for like the whole kids thing, at least where I'm at with things, is like, I feel impartial about kids one way or the other. And I always have. Right. And it's like, me and Sarah as, a unit together, trying to figure out what's the best for our relationship and how we want to do things. If she had a very strong inclination to have kids, we could have kids and I would be perfectly happy. That'd be fine. And it kind of goes the opposite way too. If she had this strong inclination where she does not want to have kids, I'm totally fine with that. And people will always talk about, oh, you have this could be this difference of opinion where down the road you might want to have kids and it's too late, and that's where you guys start having these issues. But for me, it's like, I'm totally on board to not have kids, but it's important for me and for us to live a life that's worth not having kids if we want to make that decision. Hence, that's why we're on a fucking boat. Like, if we had kids, we would not be able to kind of embark in this lifestyle together. So it's just like kind of reaffirming, like, that we're doing this together in whatever way we decide we want to, like, push our life forward. Like, we're making sure we're doing it for us. And that kind of goes back into, like, it could be thought as being selfish, but at the end of the day, like, the way I always look at it is we're number one. And, we're doing what we want to do for our relationship and what makes sense. Yeah.
And, I want to hit on 2 points, and I'll try to make it quick because I know that I can rant. I can rant sometimes.
Shit.
No, go ahead.
So, one, yes, like, that has been something that for us has been in clear communication that, like, okay, if we are deciding to not have kids, think about all the money and everything that, like, you would invest and, like, put into a child. Yes. We want to take that and put that into our lives, right? So it's like we want to, again, like he said, have a life, quote, worth not having a kid. So that's important to us. It's like we don't want to just do the same stuff that we could be doing if we had kids. So it's important to us that we kind of do something extraordinary. So that was that point. But
so we bought a boat. And we live on
it. And we live on it. But, for me, it's like, okay, really quick, kind of hitting on what you were saying, Adam, is like the difference between like selfishness and just like responsible. Like, that's definitely how I feel, is like, I feel like this is a responsible choice we're making because of the feelings that we have, right? And the feelings that we have are feelings that we have unveiled due to sitting down and truly consciously thinking things through. I feel so grateful a lot of the times for what I do because I sit down with so many different people who have so many different experiences and who are able to share that, right? And another one of those people that has really opened my eyes too is I have a client who's a trauma therapist, and she talks constantly about how many sit in her chair who love their kids so much, but still say that if they could go back and do it over, they would not have kids.
Wow.
And for me, like what it comes down to is I think that there are a lot of people in this world who have kids who shouldn't. And I think that ultimately, if more people and more couples were willing and able to sit down and truly ask themselves and each other these hard questions and come out on the other side with the answer still being yes, we want kids, those are absolutely the people who should be parents.
Like you guys.
Like
you
you
should
guys.
be parents.
Who should be bringing...
We're not trying to rain on your parade.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
No,
there's-
that's what I think is interesting.
Yeah, like I just feel like those are the people who should be bringing kids into the world.
Not us. Not people like us.
Not people who don't want them. But you know what I mean? Because I think that, and I will say this, I think there is a big change occurring in our generation. And I think, and I will say this as far as, you know, people who are sitting at my client who's a therapist, like in her office, they are, you know, more of our parents' age. And I think because at that time, it was way more like, this is what you do. You get in a relationship, you fall in love, you get married, you buy a house, you have kids. Like, that is just what you do. And that's the American dream. Like, that's what you do. And I mean, I even just recently in the last few months, like, had like a 2-hour conversation with my mom about this. And even she kind of said, like, she basically kind of said, like, I love you, but yeah, if I could go back, if I had someone who encouraged me to think things through a little bit more, I probably would have done things differently. And I just think that that's really powerful. And it's not bad. It's not, I don't look at my mom and think that she doesn't love me. I know she loves me. But I just think that that says a lot, you know? So I think that there is a shift happening with our younger generation, but...
Here's the point that I want to make on that, though, is like, like with the example with your mom, I don't know if she didn't have kids, if things would look different for her in her life, but if she lived the same life but just decided not to have kids, like, if that was me, I would feel pretty unfulfilled in life.
For
Like,
sure.
had we just lived a normal, mundane life, and at like 80 years old, I'm about to die, I've got colon cancer, whatever, you know.
Brutal.
Yeah, I'm just playing it all out, you know,
It's
really
life.
getting the full picture. And I didn't do shit, but I still didn't have kids. I'd be like, wow, what a sad, lonely life I had.
I think that that's the thing, though. I think that that's the point that my mom was making, is that I think that she believes she would have lived a different life.
She would have had a boat, too.
She probably would have had a boat.
But see, the thing is, that doesn't necessarily, and I'm not trying to, you know, offer resistance to the point. That doesn't
No.
necessarily mean that, in your example, Chris, if you didn't have kids, or person X didn't have kids, and looked back and said, oh, my life is unfulfilled, that doesn't necessarily mean because I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
It could mean because I didn't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And I do think that, you know, when it comes to, I mean, I don't know. I can only speak from personal experience, and I know you can too. It was more of a desire, and I do think that if people do ask these questions to themselves, and sort of analyze their circumstances, because I do think even if they're uncontrollable and, you know, reasons that aren't necessarily their fault, there are people that shouldn't have kids just based on circumstances. And that's not a knock on them as people. That's not a knock on them as, you know, their sensibilities or whatever. I'm sure they'd still make fantastic parents. But at the same time, like, the circumstances in their lives might dictate, hey, this might not necessarily be a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe at this current moment, maybe that could, you know, shift in time. But I guess at the end of the day, it just comes down to preference, right? And I guess when it comes back, if we round it back to the whole selfish thing, you know, and you guys can do with it as you will. For me, it's how can you be selfish when, in order to be selfish, there has to be a comparison, right? So in order for me to be selfish, I have to be taking priority towards myself over someone else, right? Or say if I'm selfish to my wife, I'm selfish and I want more than my wife. I don't necessarily think that it's fair to call, and I'm not putting words in any opposition's mouth to you guys, but if anybody calls you selfish because you don't have kids, how can you be selfish towards someone that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Right? You're just analyzing your own personal situation or your circumstances. So that's not selfish. That's just living your life.
Yeah.
Right. And parenting is so often described as, requiring sacrifice. So if you're not willing to make sacrifices, does that make you selfish? Or does that just say, I'm not ready or willing to make these sacrifices? I mean, do you know what I mean? Like making a sacrifice is usually like, that's not something you have to do.
No, you have to.
But
if you have kids, you have to do it.
No. I know. I'm saying usually
in life,
in the
in
normal
general.
way that you use that word.
Yes.
Yeah. Making a sacrifice is you're doing something optional, and giving something up versus, I agree. Those two things don't really match up for me.
Yeah.
You guys are doing it right.
Yeah, and I think like ultimately what I really became enlightened to is just how important it should be a more conscious decision. I think, more people should just really take the time to make a more conscious decision of like wanting kids, and that's not just kids, it's doing anything in life, and just really analyzing like, fuck, am I doing this because this is something that I truly, quote, desire and I really want? Or fuck, have I kind of been conditioned to think that I'm supposed to want this because I was held a baby doll from the time that I was 2?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to kids, it's really, I feel like we make these assumptions largely because of the pressure that's put on us and the questions.
Yeah.
I mean, how long after you guys got married were people asking you when you were going to have kids?
Well, and not only that, but it's like, it starts with being in a relationship for 10 plus years before being married. It's the constant when you getting married, when you getting married, when you getting married.
Exactly.
And then you get married, and then of course, when you're having kids, And I will say,
and then after you have one, it's
when you have another one.
Yep.
And I definitely have learned so much, like especially in the last like 2 years. It's like I now have experienced so many people in my life, clients of mine, family members who have struggled with having kids. And then you learn like how so inappropriate it is to ask somebody when they're going to have a child. It's so inappropriate. And we don't realize that because society has just made it normal. Oh, you can ask anybody anything about their personal life. And it's like, no, like that's actually kind of not okay. Like if someone gets married, like maybe don't ask them, hey, when you having a kid, because maybe they've been trying like for a year and you don't know, and this is a really sensitive topic for them. It's like you just I don't know, I just feel like I've learned so much about how I get triggered now when people ask me about having kids, because it's like, I don't want them right now. And it sucks to have to constantly tell people and like explain myself to people, and it's like, I feel like for the most part, most of our friends and family know where we are right now in our lives. And thankfully we don't really get a whole lot of pressure, but there's definitely still one person in his family.
There always is.
Oh, my family's trying to like bribe us with money.
Oh yeah,
like we'll pay you to get pregnant.
Whoa.
We have literally.
Whoa.
Okay, and this is not. He's laughing, but that's actually not a joke. We have.
There's not enough
we
money.
have literally.
There's not enough money.
We have literally been bribed with a very large number of money
It's not enough.
to have a
I'm telling you, it's not enough.
grandchild. And I said, you have it because it's. I'm not changing my life for some money. Like, it blows my mind.
Yeah, nice boats are very
It's not
expensive,
enough.
and they couldn't reach that number, so we were out.
Well, you should be like, we don't need it. We don't have kids.
Yeah.
Right?
It's weird to me because, after you get married, before the pressure of when you're getting married, it's never when are you buying a house?
Yeah.
It's always it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
Or when are you buying a boat?
Yeah.
It's when are you having kids? Like
Yeah.
you can live in the smallest apartment.
Yep.
Yeah.
A studio.
Yep.
And it's when are you having kids?
Yeah.
I don't know that this is big enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Or there's the underlying implication of if they are asking when you're going to get married, it's so that you can have a kid.
No,
totally.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I understand. For us, sure.
No, I'm saying in general, I think that, some of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
questions, there's always that
Traditionally.
like underlying message
Yeah.
of it being all about having a family, and not
Yeah.
everybody wants that.
Well,
Yeah.
look, when it comes to people and unsolicited advice, and when it comes to, forcing their version of love or their version of traditional values, I do think it is, and this is why we wanted to start this show with this topic. I do think it's important to have this sort of opposite side because, and again, this isn't, a knock on anything. It's just you and I have been, Cindy, fairly traditional in the sort of progression of our relationship, aside from how long it took us.
I was just
for
going
it
to say,
get married.
minus like the 6.5 years of waiting to get engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. But at the same time, if anybody out there can relate to Chris and Sara, and I'm sure there are more than just a few that can, tell those people to get the fuck out the way, and so you can do your own thing, and move. All right, you guys want to experience the break again?
I love the
I
break.
love the break. It's
The
so
break.
great.
All right, chill to these jams, and we'll be right back.
All right. So, I've been wanting to talk about our love languages for a long time, and you've never wanted to go on and take the test.
Well, hold on. Shout out to you guys,
Well,
Chris and Sara.
I'm getting there.
Oh,
Yeah, I would say I think.
Oh. Yeah, excuse you.
Yeah, yeah. The episode you guys did on MySpace With You, I think Adam kind of thought it was a really interesting conversation.
it's the first time I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, well, that's not true. There were all the times that I told you we should do the love language.
No. The first time I've ever heard what love languages were, the 5 love languages, was your show.
Okay.
I've never
Really?
even heard of that before.
Because he refused
wow.
to look it up when I
Look at us.
suggested
Look at
it.
us.
Yeah.
Hey.
So thank you for finally getting him to have an interest, because I thought I knew what yours were and what mine were, and it's kind of a recent revelation for me, like realizing that we probably have pretty different love languages, and maybe
Oh,
that's
we
where-
have total opposite.
well, so that I'm getting it. Yeah. So
Yes.
I had that suspicion. And so I'm glad that you finally went and did the quiz, and we can talk about the results and how spot on I was
Okay.
in my assumptions. But I also want to hear from you guys recap of what your results are and how the love languages have played in your relationship. It's been a while
Yeah.
since I listened to your episode, so you guys can kick it off.
So yeah, it's been a
Been
little
a while
for
since
us.
we listened
Yeah.
to you.
We don't remember.
But
Why don't you guys go first, and we'll do the
from
test.
what I recall, it was nothing but pain for me.
Okay, so basically, all you need to know is that his number 1 love language is my number 5.
And that
Right.
was what was shocking
Oh,
to me.
wow.
Like I knew we had different love languages, but I didn't take into consideration what was at the bottom of each other's love languages, like the
Versus the
priority.
top.
And like, we did the whole thing where we were trying to guess each other's, like, what our top was. And we both knew each other's top love languages, but we didn't know the bottom end of it. And I just assumed that where mine, like, kind of fell in the middle or something, but I didn't think it was going to be dead last of importance on hers. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's not compatible.
So, yeah, his number one love language is physical touch. He loves it. And that's my last, like, don't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
That's Adam, too.
Like,
Explains a
guys,
lot about our
maybe we
relationship.
need to swap
If
spouses.
if we are fudging, great, but like I don't want to sit down and have you like tickle my arm or and just like don't touch me, like,
Especially if
get the fuck away
I'm
from me.
watching something.
Yes, thank you.
I don't get it.
We are exactly the same. Adam has like an actual like reaction, like he like recoils.
It is.
Sometimes if I touch him in a non-sexual way.
Yeah, I do too. Adam, I'm with you 100%. 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm with Adam 1,000%. Like, I am the same way. Like, I will literally like shake it off. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
don't touch me. Don't.
But sometimes it's nice, right? Sometimes. Especially in the kitchen, if I'm like, hey, let's embrace, let's hug. And then I'm just like, oh, I got to go do this thing.
And then I'm like, wait, can you crack my back while you're there?
There's nothing I need to do with it.
Like, for me, it's like, okay, I love to hug. I love I love embracing. I love a massage. And that's what we talked about in our episode, right? Because I'm like, oh, well, like, like, it's not like I don't like to be touched at all. Like, I love I love to be massaged. If you want to like give me a scalp massage or a foot massage or a whole body massage, like, which that never happens, but regularly sometimes
picky.
it does. Like, that's great. And then he pointed out a really good point. He's like, well, what I think that is, because it was high on my list, he's like, I don't think that has anything to do with physical touch. That is an act of service.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And I like acts of services.
And that's your number one.
That wasn't my number one. No. But it was at like towards the top of my list.
What's
What
your
was my number one?
I hope this isn't like a quiz because I don't fucking remember.
Words of affirmation, quality time, act of service, physical touch, receiving gifts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yours was quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like nothing
I think
says.
so. I don't know. Go and listen to our episode and
we
tell me
don't-
what
we
our
don't
number
remember.
was.
Nothing to me at least says that like you're showing love, like in at least how I'm receiving it, than like a physical touch. Like if it's just a random touch or whatever, it's like, oh wow, it doesn't have to be sexual or anything, but
But that doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, that is
The smile on Chris's face.
only this
So,
was a
Adam,
video podcast.
You don't even enjoy massages.
No, fuck
There's
no.
like literally no, I can't think of any non-sexual touch that you enjoy.
You wouldn't like a hand massage?
I'm glad you said massage.
Didn't see that coming, huh?
Because
We know you like hand
if you were talking
jobs.
an old fashioned, I still would say, nah,
No.
that's
I'll pass.
I mean, if you
anything
wanna-
I could do to myself.
yeah. You can't suck your own dick. We get it.
Yeah, no. Haven't gotten quite there yet.
Can you think of anything?
No,
A shoulder massage?
no,
A foot massage?
no.
She just doesn't apparently do it good.
No, I
even
just
let me
don't
try.
want. I don't even give her the
You need to
attempt.
let her try.
No,
You
Okay.
will be transcend.
What was Cindy's top? Of
I
the five?
believe. I don't know. I'd like to take a guess.
Oh, I didn't tell you my results?
No,
Oh wow.
So you know mine.
You told me yours, yeah.
What's my top
Gifts,
gift? Receiving gifts,
which
yes.
is my last.
Because
Same
I
as you guys.
love
That was-
giving
yeah.
gifts. I fucking love it.
You like getting them too. Come on, be honest.
I
not
love
a bad
getting them
thing.
when they're thoughtful.
Yes.
I would say if it's not physical touch, it's acts of service.
Yes.
So it's acts of service.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was my second to the last.
So we're just like you guys. We're completely opposite.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Crazy.
weird.
Mine were oh god, pretty. The three that were almost tied were physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time. And acts of service was number one by far, and gifts was last by far.
Yeah, I got receiving gifts, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch.
Yeah.
So you feel
the
most
complete opposite.
loved, Adam, when somebody gives you a gift
That's thoughtful.
that's thoughtful. So you fucking hate gift cards.
It depends where.
Interesting.
If it's a gift card to a place that, like, we got a gift card this Christmas for one of our favorite local restaurants, and you really appreciated that because it's somewhere that it's a little pricey, and so we don't go there that often, but we love it. So
if it was an Amazon gift card, you would be like, thanks for all the effort.
Cool, I can get. No, I'd be like, I wouldn't take offense to it because I'd say everyone shops at Amazon.
Yeah.
But if it was like, I don't know, here's this random pot holder, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, you definitely don't even know me. Like, it
I think what was interesting is, like, in our episode, what we really uncovered was how much we realized that we project our love languages onto each other. Right. So, like, you know, we kind of uncovered that, and, like, it was kind of this aha moment. Like, we really unraveled, like, live during the recording of the episode. But it's like, he constantly touches me.
Because I want to be touched.
And it's because he wants to be touched, right?
Yes.
Obviously.
And it's like, I also was scrolling through to see if I could find my results from when we did it. So
the survey.
Yeah, well, like, the results.
Yeah.
Of the love language.
The love language survey.
So I was quality time at the top, and then acts of services, and then words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and then physical touch. And it's so funny because when we uncovered these results, like, we realized how much, like, we do that to each other because it's, like, what we want to receive. Like, do you guys ever find that, like, you're projecting your love languages onto each other?
Because, yes, Adam is the best at giving gifts. The best, because that's what he would want. He wants thoughtful gifts.
I start Christmas shopping in August.
Wow.
Yeah. And he is the best gift giver.
See, but I also come from a family that has always been awesome with gifts. And the reason why I don't necessarily like this poll, and this is the swerve coming, I actually think my love language is words of affirmation because this only really applies for Christmas and birthday. I don't want gifts any other time. No, I really don't.
That's not true.
I really
No, you don't want them and you don't expect them, but that's what makes it that much better. I feel like if I get you something
words
thoughtful,
of affirmation would, like, all right, this is the
so
swerve.
I could have just said something nice instead of getting you those Jordans after you got your wisdom teeth
Well,
out.
no, that was awesome.
No.
That was awesome. But if some, I can only, this is the way I evaluate it. Like, if I was single, what would be the biggest turn on for me? The biggest thing that I'm just like, oh, that draws me to you, is if I was single and some girl brought me a brand new pair of Jordans, I'd be like, this is cool, thank you, but it'd be weird. But if some girl said something about me, because I have a super low self-esteem as it is, I'd be like, wow, either you're insane or you're definitely into me. And so that's why words of affirmation, I think, mean more to me. And the way these questions were structured, it's, for instance, would you rather go out and hold hands with your wife or stay home, do nothing, and watch TV? And I'm like, I'd rather stay home and do nothing and watch TV, but that does not mean I don't like going out and holding hands with my wife. You know,
you like going out, you don't like holding hands.
Sure, but it's just like,
yeah, but
you know?
I think your results, I think the way that you answered the questions, I think your results showed a little bit of like reflection. Like, it showed a little bit of, whoa, God, put the fuck was the word that I just said?
Projecting.
Thank you. Projecting that. Like, I think that you must have subconsciously answered a couple of these questions a certain way because your inner conscious was projecting what you like to do for others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
your
I think-
gift givings and words of affirmation pretty close? Like when you took the test, did it
Yeah.
give a percentage?
Yeah,
Okay.
30 and 27.
Okay, yeah. Well, so
Okay,
you're
yeah, so there
basically
you
like
go.
even.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. You're basically, because that was mine. My top two were 30 and 33%. What was your
Yeah.
lowest percentage on your
10.
on? Okay, what was yours, Cindy? What was your lowest percentage?
Gifts was 7%
Yeah,
for me.
physical touch was 7% for me.
Physical touch was like 90%.
Physical
Really?
touch was like really high. It was like, I want to say his was like 35%.
It was pretty high up there.
So I guess the moral of the story is it doesn't mean you're incompatible if you have different
Yeah.
love languages. It's just you
Exactly.
have to recognize what they are and remember to try to be conscious about expressing your love in the way that your partner receives it and not just projecting the way that you would want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to speak their love language.
Well, yeah, and
Right.
it's
Yeah.
funny because I literally had this conversation today with a client of mine, completely forgetting that this was a part of what you guys wanted to talk about today. But I was explaining to her that it's not just about recognizing your love languages as well as your partner's, but it's about being willing to learn each other's love languages. Like you have to be, it's like you speak Spanish, I speak French. Like these are both different languages, but like let's, teach each other and let's learn each other's languages so that we can communicate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that has happened, especially since Christmas. And it wasn't even like a boiling point. It wasn't an argument. It was just more of, it's because of your episode that, Christmas, there was a reflection process. And the next day, Cindy and I had a conversation and I said, I honestly think this is the love languages thing. And you said, now you fucking buy it.
I was like, finally.
And I was like, well, I've been, because I stew on things for months. And
Yeah.
Years.
when you released that episode, I don't even remember if it was necessarily close to Christmas. I don't think it
was August.
And I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
it was in the
reflect
summer.
back to it. And I said, oh, yeah, no, this is, because I had never heard of that before. And I remember saying to you, I guess this is my love language. And I guess on these special occasions, I expect you not to necessarily match it. But to me, it's just my roadblock is, how do you not get it? And then I reflect, because that's not your llove language.
Right.
And when you said mine is acts of service, how do you not get it? I'm thinking to myself, if I just intuitively, if I gave you for Christmas, hey, I'm going to clean the house and do everything. To me, as a dude, that's like, I didn't buy you shit. I'm just going to fucking.
No, but you could pay someone to come clean the house.
I know, but to me, that's just like,
Which I did that for you. So
I
that's
got you
that's
this.
a perfect. I did that for you because that's something I would like.
But that's what I'm saying. So like that is when we had that aha
Yeah.
moment of, this is not
Yeah.
that we're not compatible. It's just more, this is the disconnect.
Right.
And-
I know you want to tell the story about what I got you for Christmas.
Okay. Well, I only want to tell the story is because Chris and Sara have been so involved with the beard that
Everybody has been.
well, and
It's just out there.
well, I use our previous episode as the starting point because in the intro
Yeah.
to that episode, I said, I think I'm going to grow out the beard.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was November 21st.
Yep.
And so it was, and I remember that date. And I said to you after the fact, I said, hey, what I really want for Christmas are these, as a new pair of clippers so I can properly trim my beard. And Cindy said, got it. So on Christmas Day, I open up, it's a straight razor. I'm like, this is the
It was a really, really nice straight razor.
I'm like, thanks.
That
It came
is
with
so
all the
funny.
accessories.
And so the next day, she's like, did you get what you wanted? I'm like, yeah, mostly. And she said, you hate the straight razor. I'm like,
Because now he has a full beard
I
by
said,
now.
I don't hate it, but I specifically said I already have one of those and I need a new clip.
Might I say, though, Adam, you are looking at least 27% more attractive with the beard.
Oh, I disagree.
See?
I think it's
See?
at least.
Boners
Words of
up.
affirmation.
Okay, I disagree.
right.
I disagree.
There you go. Chris has got it.
Adam, I disagree. I think you look 97%
Whoa.
more attractive
But way
with
up.
the beard.
Wow.
Way up.
You should never, ever, ever get rid of it.
Thank you.
But I'm
See?
also
Fuck
not
that
your
gift I
wife,
gave you.
so sorry, Cindy.
Hard as a rock right now.
I tried so hard. I don't know what it was. Like, I was thinking, I mean, I thought it was thoughtful to do something
A
related to
straight
your...
razor isn't even electric.
I
Like-
know.
A
No,
straight
you're
razor said,
missing
"Hey, I
parts.
hope you get rid of this beard."
That reminds me of like the Grinch when like the Jim Carrey version when they're like, oh, the gift of a Christmas shave, and they give him the razor to shave his face.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, in my mind, I was still thinking that you still talking
so
about going
funny.
for a lineup and stuff. So
Hold
I thought
on.
you could still
no,
use
no, no.
it.
I said November
You're so sweet,
21st.
Cindy.
I think I'm
You're
going to
so
grow out a
sweet.
beard. And you said, good to know for Christmas. And Black Friday happened after that. And you bought that thing on Black Friday.
You all, to be fair, you said on the episode, it's in the recording that
I might not
I said,
stick
oh,
with
good
it."
to know. I'll put like beard grooming stuff in your stocking. And you said, well, no, don't, because I don't know if I'm going to commit yet. I might not do it. And so I was like, all right, well, then I'll just get the razor that I was planning on getting him just
No,
in case it doesn't
because
work
then I
out.
specifically said what I wanted. And you said, all right, cool.
I'll one-up you.
So the opposite.
Amazing.
I just
We were
feel
able to
like,
return the razor, and I
Yeah,
got him
yeah,
the
yeah,
trimmers in the end.
I feel like if I were like you and I opened that gift, like I would have been like, "Oh, she wants me to shave it off."
Yes. Yes.
But it wasn't. I was just like, it was just like,
Sarah, at this point, I'm flaunting the motherfucker. I'm just like, I got it going properly, and then, you don't like the beard.
well, if you had let me get you the beard grooming stuff for your stocking, like I said I was going to,
Whatever.
we wouldn't have had this problem.
My point
So
is, it's
good.
because of your episode
Incredible.
that we were illuminated to this.
Yeah.
And I realized that, at some days, and I've been well, I hit the microphone. That's a no for podcasting.
I get it.
Actively trying to do more things to, I don't know, give you a load off, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Speak to the love
And-
language.
Yeah. I've noticed now that means more to you. So every day I try to say, what can I do to make your life easier? Because I know that means a lot to you. And that's the difference, because with gift giving, I don't want to gift every day. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I think it even means it doesn't have to be I think this is why a lot of people don't admit when that's their love language, because they're afraid it's going
sounds
to come off
selfish.
materialistic
Yeah.
or selfish
Yeah.
or something, or superficial.
Yeah.
But I think it's like if I go to the store and I grab you a pack of your favorite gum
Yep.
in that, and I bring that home, like that counts. That's gift giving.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just to say that you were thinking of the person.
the author of the book, who this is all based off of, like, that's exactly what he talks about specifically with gift giving. Like, he brings that to light, is like, this is not necessarily about materialistic items, right? Like, this can
Right.
be the smallest, like, littlest thing, but is filled with so much thought, right? It's like,
It's the thought that counts.
I was truly thinking of you in the highest way possible. It's like, back when we first started dating, and it carried on for quite a few years, but like I would write him a handwritten like note, like letter every anniversary. And I feel like even something so little like that was like this
Right.
long written out, thought out thing, and I would origami it into a heart, it's like, and I would give it to him. It's like, that technically is like a gift, right? So it's like little things like that. It doesn't have to be like a physical, it doesn't even have to be like a physical thing that you purchase. Like, it could be
Right.
something else that is a gift in its own meaningful way,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, the small things, just when it comes to the thought of, I think that really nails it, because when you're getting to it at its core, I like being, and I don't know if this is selfish and it makes me feel sort of shameful for even saying it, but I like being thought of, or I know I was being thought of, right? And if that translates to something, again, not materialistic, but just something representative of that, I'd say, wow, that really captures me.
Yeah. And I think that that's why, like, that and words of affirmation are so close for you. Because I think the two almost kind of translate within each other, you know?
A little bit. More so because I have a, low self-esteem, and I just want to hear my wife say I have a kick-ass beard, and she won't, so she buys me a straight razor.
Or a kick-ass dick, you know?
Wow.
It's not true. It's not true. We've seen Chris while he's trying to do the setup.
I think we've seen all of us now.
Yeah, yes, that was intentional.
Yeah. I have to set up nothing, just...
Exactly.
Well, do you guys have anything more you'd like to add to this amazing jam-packed show that we had?
Well, I really wanted to get into,
Did Chris
the
talk
whole...
at all on this podcast?
I was here. I said a couple things. Don't even get me started on the whole second impeachment trial. Jeez, we can just keep going.
Oh, yeah. Part 4.
That literally was the one
Our
thing
podcast.
earlier, like, in the podcast where I was like, no, I'm not going to say anything. You're like, what were you going to say? And I was like, no, I'm not, because I'm triggered. And I'm like, I can't fucking go there.
But no, on your note there, Adam, we did just record our first update episode from the MySpace With You podcast.
Show me your boat hole.
So, if anybody does actually listen to this and want to hear us ramble a little more, definitely go back and listen to some of the older episodes that we have. But we just recorded our update of what's been going on in our lives to kind of keep everybody up to date with where we're at.
We back, baby.
That's it.
There you go.
That's
Sweet.
awesome.
Sweet. Good. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So.
I was just going to say, spoiler alert. We shout you guys out.
Oh.
We do every episode. It's
Appreciate it.
It's just like a given now.
Appreciate it. Well, hey, the link to that, to your show, will be in the description of this one.
Yeah.
So, listeners, you are just a click away from subscribing to MySpace With You /Show Me Your Bowlhole / Salty Semen With You. That's the name of the podcast in long form.
Yes.
Anywho, thanks for joining us on While She's Napping. You've been with your host, Adam, Cindy, Sarah, and Chris.
Thanks, Cindy.
We'll catch you
All right.
on the next one.
That being said, I don't know what we're talking about next week.
I don't know either.
Okay.
We'll figure
Till
it out.
then. Okay, bye.
Bye.